Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Okay. For anyone who watches in the future, probably nobody. I'm just gonna go live today, answer questions if anyone has any. It's been a while, been a minute since I've been on, as people like to say. And I'm gonna be focusing my attention in on some commissions I have to get done. And I figured I may as well just share the live process if anyone is intrigued by it. I'll keep an eye on the comments in case anyone comments. Otherwise, I will be grinding as much as I can to get as much accomplished today as humanly possible. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to work on today. So like I said, I'll be grinding on those as much as possible. So I'm just going to crank up some music for myself here. Unfortunately, I can't play it for you guys. So if you're interested, then make sure you put some music on your end and just sit back and relax. In a second here, I'll get my screen set up. We'll get my drawing software put in and we'll start cranking. But don't be afraid to leave comments. And welcome to the stream for whoever walks in and enjoys it. So I got music going. There we go. And I might do a little dancing, might have a little fun, might get down tonight, and we'll have a little bit of fun and do some drawings today. So just got to get all my gear set up here. Let's see. Also want to give you guys a peek of the system. So I wanted to make sure the stream went live, and it definitely did that. But now I got to get things set up while I'm already live. A little unprofessional, but hey, I haven't been on here in a while, so let's go ahead and do this. And we're going to start cropping this from the left. Is it from the left or from the right? I think left, yes. So we'll crop about 500, 800 maybe. Let's try 800. See what we got there. 700. I'll try to let you also see me actually drawing on the screen for those curious. Just crop things in here a little bit. Right, we'll go 100. There we go. And I'll just tuck myself up here in the corner. There we go. Something kind of like that. That way you guys can focus in on seeing what I'm doing on my computer. Okay. I think we're about ready. Just get the software open and get to work. I already started on one commission a little bit, so we'll be kind of in the middle of a piece. But once I get that done, then I'll be able to move on to another one that I've only pre-sketched, and I might change my mind on the pre-sketch. So we'll see. But at least I'll be able to bring a little bit to you on here. And we'll start cranking. Okay. All right, no source selected. That's fine. X out of there. I'll size it up just a little bit here. There you go. Okay. Well, since I have my other easel visible, I may as well share another piece with you that I worked on last night. Let's grab this guy. And I'll put it in here so if people see it, they can freak out with it. All right, there we go. Okay. Gonna be just a very down-to-earth stream today, I hope. There we go. Try and get this a little bit closer to me here. All right. Let's go ahead and get my previous file opened up. I was working on Skittle. So this is a paid commission for a client that deals in drone racing. I do a lot of drone pilots. I draw a lot of drone pilots. So let me go ahead and pull up my reference photos. key. There we are. If I had a way to share the reference photo, I totally would. I don't know if I can easily, but let me see what I can do here. Like I said, if you want to leave any comments, go ahead. You can ask me any questions at all. I'll be up and running here in just a moment. It's been a long time since I've done this, so trying to see if I can find some ways to get you guys a couple different viewpoints. I'd like to show you the actual image. I guess I could just do this. Let's go ahead and save image as to desktop, and then I'll just add it into the stream. So give me half a second. Hopefully it'll help you be able to see what I'm actually working on here. Desktop, and here she is. There we go. Okay, so there's my reference photo that I'm working off of as well. I'm sure they won't mind me sharing it. And if they do, well, oops. Do it. Ask for apologies later. All right. All right. I might end up turning off that top light after a while, but we'll get there if we need to. Okay. Here we go. Let's start drawing here. Okay. Just get some white. And okay. Probably going to hear a lot of breathing in this, which is unfortunate. I hope not, but if you do, I apologize. Like I said, I don't have any other audio or anything I can play for you. So mute me if the breathing gets too bad. How about that? Okay. Can't really tell her eye color, but I kind of want to go the same eye color as her hair. And I want to add some more green into that hair as well as we keep going along here. Yeah, that's better. Hey, Google, stop alarm. There we go. 9:30. Or at least I'm getting an early start today. I don't want to go too dark, but her hair is slightly darker, so let's go ahead and see if I can cheat and use some of her hair color for her eyes. Just to keep everything in context. There we go. Skin's looking a little awkward, so let's go ahead and fix that. A little better. We'll put some rosy cheeks in there and some stuff like that to make her look not as dead, preferably. It's been a while since I've used this drawing pad. Usually I work on an iPad, and then recently I just got tired of drawing on something smaller, so I went back to this thing. I'd love to upgrade, and I've wondered about getting like one of those Huions, but at this point, the commissions aren't coming in as much as they used to. I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm trying to focus in on YouTube stuff and not as much drawing caricatures for a living, but sometimes you gotta pay the bills. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the eraser to be a right-click option. There we go. Because I have my pen very taped up. I like a big grip as I'm drawing, so anyway. Now I should be able to do a selection from layer. Do, 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 do. Okay, now we're going to add a mask to that. Now I can color into this layer without bleeding everywhere. Okay, nice and big. Let's see, a little bit of rose in the cheeks here. And here, anything on the nose. Usually girls like a little bit on the nose. Definitely some in the chin. Not so much in the neck, but since we're going kind of feminine for her, we'll glow that up a little bit. I might kind of add like a shadow with the red, so it just calms things down a little. And then I'll just tone it down till it's nice and calm. There we go. Do, 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 do. Okay, looks good, looks good. Let's give her some lips and some gums. That will be helpful. For now, I think I'll just stick with this red, but we'll do it with a hard brush. Okay, we'll just do 2 different layers with this, and then just alter the color, maybe do a hue and saturation push. That'll fix it right up. Okay. She obviously doesn't need makeup. She keeps things light, just does her eyelashes. So we'll try to do the same thing for her with her lips. We'll just keep those nice and calm. Let's make a new layer. And fill in her teeth. We gotta make sure that layer's above her teeth. When all else fails, just put it above all other layers except for your ink layer. Do, 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 do. Like I said, guys, I feel bad that I don't have any music for you. Back when I was streaming more often, I used to actually be signed up with a system where I could play a bunch of copyright-free music, but I don't have that anymore. I don't stream next to at all. These days, I just make video game reviews and stupid stuff like that. And so I don't need those services, especially when you can't afford them. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. That's given her a little bit more life. Feeling pretty good about that so far. Dig the colors so far. Gonna have to look at those goggles probably next here. Also need to come up with the name, which I think is Skittles FPV. So we got to draw that in here in a little bit. Now, actually, this is part of a team of 2 pilots. So I'll be drawing her hubby here in a few minutes, which will be with her in this as well. But I like drawing people individually, popping them together at the end. So this one looks really good, though. I'm actually really pleased with it. I haven't done any highlights yet. So let's knock in some highlights here. Let's see. Highlights. How do we want to handle highlights? What do I usually do? Blending modes? No. I make a layer, and then we do an add glow. And we'll just use white for now until I change my mind. And let's see what happens here with a little bit of airbrushing, just a couple passes, and some key areas here. Tip of the nose, maybe tip of the chin, maybe down one side of the neck. A little bit of an area to fix up there, so I'll look at that in a second. And then we'll drop the opacity until it starts looking natural. About 20% maybe? Yeah, 20% looks pretty good. Okay. Let me know if the stream is clear, if you guys can see it okay. If it's getting buzzy or fuzzy or whatnot. I think it looks okay. And also let me know if you can hear me okay. I think we should be good. Okay. So triggering on and off that layer, that highlight definitely helps push out her cheeks a bit more. So that's a plus. Gives her a little bit more light on her forehead, which is cool. And then if I wanted to, I could also intensify her eyes just slightly with it. May as well. So we'll grab that same airbrush and just dot in a little bit more into these eyes here. Perfect. And then let's go back to my layer for skin tone. And I'm going to turn off all my other skin tone layers just to get a sample of that layer. I can turn all that back on, and I'm just going to fix up that little tiny pock mark here. Okay. And of course, it was affected by other layers, so let me just go ahead and there we go. All fixed. Just had to fill in some mask layers, but we're good. Okay. Nice. Alrighty, now she has glossy lips, so she is wearing some lip gloss. Let's go ahead and punch that lip gloss out. So we'll go find her highlight layer that I've already built for her eyes. Grab my highlight pen here. And we're just going to draw in some hard white tones in a couple different places. There we go. Just enough to make it look a little moist. And what I might do as well to help push it is we'll find that layer and we will lock it to pixels and try and just, well, we already got the hottest red that we can possibly get on there in that layer. So let's do this instead. We'll right click, selection from layer, and we'll make a new layer over top of it. Okay, and we'll mask it. So I just have to paint a little bit. We'll go ahead and do a selection of that layer. And now I just want to intensify the red just a little. And I'm just going to paint in a little bit of this shadow tone to this. Maybe what we'll do also is intensify the red slightly. And just try and hit some simple spaces here. Way it punches her lips out just a little bit more. Don't quite like how that looks just yet, so let's try and tone it down. Okay, that looks a little better once we've dropped that layer down a little bit. Okay. Good. Moving on. Next up, I guess, is going to be the goggles. I kind of want to put Skittles on the goggles instead of what she has in her goggles. I mean, she's got a bunch of things that we got to put on top of the goggles, but she is known as Skittles FPV. So it'd be kind of cute to like get a Skittles texture off of Google or something, paste it over top here, and just see how it looks. So let me see what I can find here really quick. If I can find something worthy of use, then I might cheat a little bit and do that. Let's see. We're gonna go to the Google, and let me see if I can find some. I'll do this off camera, off screen here, real quick, and then we'll continue on here. So go here and Skittles texture. Let's see if oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Now it needs to be high resolution. So let me see if anyone has anything high resolution, and preferably also with usage rights under Creative Commons. That would be nice too. Size large. Licensable. It looks very pixelated. Kind of works though. So let me save this one. We'll see if I can work with that. I might not be able to. Bear with me a second, guys. I'll be back on there in a second. Just looking for some Skittles. Skittles. Ooh, I like this one. Free for personal and commercial use. That's what we like. Let's see if we can save it. All right. Now that I got that saved, let's see what we can do with it. Let me go find it here because they are purposefully naming it so you can't use it without downloading it. So I'm just going to try and change two things and see if that fixes it. Ah, you see, look at that. You can't trick me. Nuh-uh. I know what I'm doing. Unless it's a low resolution file and then I have to go back and download it, which would stink. But we'll see. All right, so yes, let's mix them together. And we can also help ourselves out a little bit maybe by mixing them together in some way and blending them so the two files are merged into one in a way. So let me go ahead and pull these over into Clip Studio. Where's my mouse? There it is. There. Oh, there it went. There it went. Okay. New layer. There we go. So there's some Skittles. They're a little grimy, but that's okay. And another one. All right. So we got some Skittles images. Let's see if we can do anything with them here. Let's go ahead and bump this back over here. There we go. All right. Let's see what we can do with these Skittles. Skittles. Where's my mouse? There it is. Let's go to here again. There we are. And my pen. All right. So, I kind of like this one more. Let's see if I can do anything with it first. Let's do a copy. And let's see if it'll let me paste it over here. I'm not sure if it will. New layer just in case. Don't want anything to go wrong. And paste. All right. So let's see what happens here if we take this and unfortunately size it up to the size of the goggles. We'll see if we need to do any blending or moving work. We'll find out about that a little later. Let's start by dropping its opacity. I'd like to do maybe a few different layers to it and see if we can build up those colors a little bit nicer. I also want to get the highest resolution I possibly can out of this image. Totally cheating on it, but that's the point. Sometimes we just grab what we can and make it work for us, and this is, according to the image in Google, it's supposed to be Creative Commons use. So hopefully that means that we can get away with it and not get in trouble for it. If people call us out for it, it was Creative Commons use. We pulled it off Creative Commons website, even though it has licensed Skittles. Hopefully we can get away with it. But most of these pilots and folks that I work with, they won't be getting to the big leagues where suddenly Skittles is going to be attacking them for using their stuff. So we should be good. Let's go ahead and look at that. See, that's cool. That's cool. And then we'll do some effects to it and make it pop a little bit in a few places, and that should work just fine. Nice. Out of curiosity, what if I duplicate it? No. Can I duplicate the layer? Duplicate layer. Perfect. Oh, look at that. How rich that got. That's perfect. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right. Let's check the layers below and turn off our sketch layer. So it just shows that. That looks good. Can I merge those and still have it? Yep, sure can. Great. Some quick little erasing to a couple areas, and then we'll start defining this out a little bit more. Try to get back some of the goggle shape on this. So let's make a new layer for now. I see her eyebrow peeking through. That's because this layer is set on multiply. If I put it on normal, it still looks good. So let's go ahead and do that and drop it below the goggle layer. There we go. Let's clear up this little guy. There we are. Okay. So I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and start adding in some layers. See if we can make this pop a bit more. And it's very, very saturated, which I want it saturated, but it's saturated on a darker side of things. So let's try a tonal correction first and see if we can get a little bit of room to work with it just slightly. There we go. Okay. And I know I just copy and pasted an image on here, but out of the whole drawing, I'm okay with doing that for the sake of giving them something and me not having to go in and paint all this. And they might change their mind and be like, hey, can you make it look like my actual goggles and not like what you did? Sometimes you take creative license and people are like, okay, I see why you went that way, but no, don't do that. Don't do that. So we'll keep it as is, and then if they say, can I have what I originally had, then yes, of course. So we're stepping out of our way to try and create something fun. Sometimes people won't like it, and unfortunately that means more work for me, but I put that on myself because I think they'll like it and then I'm wrong. Which, that's just the nature of the beast in drawing caricatures. That's okay, though. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by putting in some purple here. This purple's going to intensify some of our shadows. Specifically looking for shadow. So we'll take this and multiply it, and that will give us some of our shadow on this here. So let's go ahead and normal to multiply. And we'll just start dropping the opacity until it starts to feel right. Okay. It's like she got her goggles hydro dipped. I think that would be a good way to put it. And then let's go ahead and multiply this. We'll duplicate this layer again. We will clear what's on the layer. And then this one's going to be the other side of this. So we'll go pure white. And then I want to go to, in this, I'm going to change it to a add glow. And in add glow now, we'll intensify the main part of the goggles here with a little bit of this add glow. Might pop a little too much, but maybe we can pull it back after a bit. We'll do some reflective highlight tones in some places and see if I can wake it up. If I can't wake it up, I might go a different direction with this. But for right now, we'll see what we can get away with. I kind of don't like it. It looks weird. So let me do this just to play it safe. We'll go ahead and make a new layer. Let's go ahead and grab a gray-blue. As cool as the idea is, it might be worth filling it in. Hello, fellow caricatures from the UK, big fan. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. How are you doing, my friend? And thanks for tuning in from the UK. What time is it in the UK, out of curiosity? Thank you very much for stopping by and seeing what kind of trouble I'm causing right now. It's been a long time since I've been on here. I mean, I've been doing my little pen reviews, but it's been a while since I've done any caricature stuff. I've taught you guys everything I can teach you at this point, I think, except to get on here and just have a little bit of fun. I figured, heck, I got some work to do. Got some caricatures that need to be done, and the best way to focus on them is just to get everyone else involved and make me stick with it. Almost 5 p.m. Good heavens. Wow, your day is coming to an end, and mine's just starting. 9:53 a.m. over here. Well, thank you so much for spending some of your evening with me. That's cool. Very cool. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and add some white into this now. See if we can pop this back out again. So I didn't like the first design that I did to that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to shape the goggles to see if I even can save them, and I think I can. But it's down to making myself happy, and that's the thing. You don't give away a caricature you don't like. I mean, yeah, you do in certain cases, but for the most part, we're gonna say yes to that. I want to clear this layer. There we go. Let's go grab some. You don't have much of a choice when you're working at Disney and you're like, I'm gonna go ahead and redraw you. Can't always do that, unfortunately. Which was such a long time ago. When I was a wee little lad. How many years has it been since I've drawn at Disney? Good heavens. It's been 5 years? 6 years? Probably about 6 years. Wouldn't you just love? Doo, 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 doo. There we go. So get some of this drop shadow in here. So just trying to see, once again, if I can build some structure into this. See, that looks better. Unfortunately, that, if you knew what the goggles looked like, it would make sense to you. I've flown drones, and I know what these goggles are supposed to look like and how they're supposed to be shaped. And that looks a lot better than what I initially had drawn with the Skittles. Now, can I take the Skittles and put them over top and allow somehow that layer to show through? How about an overlay? Nope, definitely not. Multiply. We might go with something a bit different just in case. Maybe do it according to our actual goggles. Also, need to pull up my reference photo a little larger for the goggles. That way I can get a better see of it. Excuse my throat today. I apparently am this morning. All right. I don't like the structure I have in my goggles in the actual sketch. The silhouette looks right, but not the drawing itself. So let me quickly see if I need to modify this. So what I do is I grab a sketch pen of some other variation. We'll we'll do some quick sketching and make sure if I'm actually right about this. The area that I'm feeling is off, and I cheat from the actual goggles because it takes so long to try and actually get these exactly. I've created a form that most pilots are perfectly okay with. So if I add a little bit more here, and then we draw the nose piece coming down this way. Okay, then this is supposed to pop forward, and then this piece is supposed to follow this line and then bounce off of that one. And then continue this way, then hook onto there. So that, I think, looks a little bit more correct. Technical stuff. Aaron, what kind of caricatures do you like drawing, man? What stuff do you draw? And are you doing it professionally? Are you doing it for fun? You learning? Fellow caricatures from the UK, so I'm assuming that you're probably on the semi-professional side. Okay. And let's go with boop. All right, let's go ahead and re-ink this. I do use a lot of control with my pen, my pen settings. I like that they kind of clean up my line work. There we go. And then this one tracks down this way, and then this one will track over that way. Hopefully that will look a little better. Okay. Even more. Okay, grab my eraser, make sure it's got a hard edge, make sure the stabilization's turned up, and I will attempt to erase away my other line without hurting the first line as much as possible. There we go. A little better. Stop doing it as a job for now, as my mom is very ill, but I draw with Clip Studio Paint Pro. Good choice, man. Good choice. And I truly get that. I stopped drawing caricatures just because I got burned out. Got seriously burned out, and now I'm back at it again to pay some bills. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I get it. 100%. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. All right, let's go ahead, go in here now. I'm actually supposed to be getting some surgery here pretty soon. And honestly, I can't wait. All right, there we go. You gotta admit, Clip Studio Paint Pro, my man, that is the way to go. Hands down, the way to go. You cannot beat this software when it comes to drawings. And I have used them all, as far as I know anyway. All right, let's merge these two together now and make them a new set of goggles. All right, and I did not do myself any favors with this, so what we will do is I'm gonna turn it off for now. I still don't know how I feel about the still don't know how I feel about those. I'll just redo it. Why not? We'll just redo it. Let's delete that one and this one. There we go. And this one. There we are. Rather just redo it. Who's your inspiration, man? Who do you like to follow in the caricature world? There's a bunch of great artists out of the UK. I don't know if Jan is out of there. Jan Optiebeck is an incredible caricaturist who works very heavily in the world of cross hatching in his caricatures, and boy, he is just such a absolute master. Got one of his books. Do you find traditional drawing has affected your digital art drawing? Oh yeah, 100%. Martin Pope. Okay, very cool. Martin Pope. Absolutely. My traditional style drawings definitely affect my digital. Definitely affect my digital, and I think the way that I've found. I mean, even last night I was painting with acrylics over here on my easel, and I'm trying to learn acrylic. I've tried oil paint, and it just takes forever to dry, and it sickens me. So I started trying more with acrylics, and found Andrew Tischler on YouTube, who teaches just all kinds of different techniques of all kinds of different stuff. Especially with like landscapes and really, really beautiful stuff. Really beautiful stuff. And he was mentioning instead of trying RGB, like red, blue, and yellow. Oh, excuse me. What colors am I thinking of? Your primary colors. Red, blue, yellow. Primary colors. Instead of doing that, you switch over and you do what am I thinking of? You do CMYK instead. So cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And you use those. And even just trying that on here has changed how I think about this even now, and that was just last night. So it's the little things that count. It's the little things that make the difference. I also find that my line work improves in my digital once I focus my attention in on drawing with a pencil in real life or with a marker in real life. So instead of scratching out your lines, you're drawing individual lines much, much cleaner. All right. Let me make a few little changes to my camera position here, because I'm noticing that I'm taking up an awful lot of unnecessary space. There we go. So we can make our reference photo a little better. There we go. That way you guys can see the reference a little better while I'm working. Okay. So we got that recolored. That's great. And I don't mind. I can recolor everything. It's a good question, though. Digital is affected by traditional, and traditional is affected by digital. Both ways. Personally, I like drawing digital the most, I think, because I like the freedom. Digital's made me lazy too. Yes, digital has made me lazy. When you have the undo button, when you have multiply layers, when you have overlay layers, when you have all these different effects that you can do to an individual layer, when you can just add some glow or do some drop shadow and then just drop your opacity till you're happy with it. I mean, that's a wonderful thing. A wonderful thing. And also, it's better for your clients. I have a caricature I'll work on hopefully today or tomorrow. And it's the first time someone has asked me for a hard copy of the caricature. I'd say in a couple of years. So I'll do it in digital, and then I'll print it on my big, large format printer, and I'll give it to her in a paper form as well, which is very awkward because most of your clients these days, if you're selling online, they're just going to be looking for that. They're going to be looking for the digital format so they can make a logo or something, anything of that nature. So, and the thing, admittedly, I don't like doing the prints because my printer kind of stinks. So I end up overpricing the prints because I have to do multiple prints to get the colors to match and everything, and it's just a pain. She still bought it. Still bought. I'm glad she bought the caricature because my caricatures are more expensive than anyone I know. But she still bought the want for a hard print, and I was telling her you can go get it really cheap at one of your local print stores. And she's like, nope, I want a hard copy. Okie dokie. So, hard copy it is. You're paying a small premium for it, but okay, if that's what you want, we'll make it happen. Absolutely. Okay, there we go. All right, reshape up these goggles here a little bit. I used to have my stuff printed and sent out. That's cool. That's cool. I need to find someone else to do my prints. And honestly, I really hate. I've never mailed out a print. I've never mailed out a print. I'm not interested in dealing with over cost on shipment, and stuff like that. I just don't want to deal with that. And especially if it's someone I can draw for anyone all over the world. I can draw for you in the UK. I can draw for anyone in the world because I can send you a digital file and I can say, okay, go take it to your local print shop and let them do it right, let them do it properly for you. That just makes sense to me, and I think that makes sense to most people. Um, it's just those specific individuals that want that hard copy as well, and it's like, okay, that's fine. And like I said, in my career of doing this, I rarely see someone wanting it. Let's see, what kind of strap does she have? Looks kind of like a fancy sort of strap. I can't really tell. Looks like you could get away with like a Gucci strap or something like that. Well, admittedly, with that sort of stuff, I'm just going to go ahead and cheat, and I'm going to work off of what I've already kind of built. I'm going to look for a color that, you know what? I'm going to grab from her eyebrow, her eyeshadow, and we'll do something there. Same here. It's no fun when you're taken away from the art by other parts of the business. Precisely. We're already drawing everyone else in what they want and not doing the kind of stuff that we want to do. And you know what? Back in the first part of the career, you're just happy to do the work. But then as you're doing it for a while, you're kind of like, okay, now I want to draw for myself. Now I want to do some fun stuff for myself. And the thing I hated, and I don't know if you've experienced this, Aaron, but when you get someone who has such a great idea, an incredible idea for a project, and you're like, why didn't I think of that first? It's these drones that these pilots fly are pretty cool little things. And someone came up to me a couple years back and said, can you draw this drone as a really angry monster? And it's one of my favorite drawings I've done to date of just a character style inanimate object. And it turned out so cool. I'm like, if this was mine, I would put this on t-shirts. I would put this on everything and it would sell. It would be really, really cool. And I swear to you, I created that design for him. I've never seen it anywhere on the market anywhere. And it's like, dude, you missed out. You had such a wonderful idea. We turned it into a product and then you did nothing with it. Oh dear. So, but hey, I got paid for it. That's the big deal, right? We're looking for the cash, and that's how that goes, especially when we're caricaturists trying to knock things out quick. You know what? I don't like how that looks. It looks like that's like she molded skin to a strap. So let's not do that. Let's go to a tonal correction and see if we can change the color to something else kind of cool. Oh, you know what? That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, there we go. There we are. I gotta say that drawing on location to me sometimes is more fun than drawing in the studio, because a drawing on location, first off, is much cheaper and much quicker. You're done in 30 minutes max. Where here I spend hours, 2, 3, 4 hours drawing one individual piece. That is the only thing I don't like about digital. You are forced with the limitations of traditional art to draw quickly. And here we have the whole world as our oyster, so we over focus on all the little nitpicky things that you wouldn't do in a real scenario. All right, I feel good about this. I'm going to leave this alone right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and work on the name really quickly here. So let's go ahead and, I don't want to change the size of the artwork. So I'm going to just change the canvas size. And I'm going to make this about 5,000 pixels tall. That way it gives me a little bit of room to work. There we go. Something a bit more like that. Let me check up here. I see something weird. Yeah, I see something weird up there, so I'm just gonna create a fix-it layer. Let's find a fix-it layer. How about here? And let's grab here and just dot that in there. Oh, nope, wrong layer. Too much. How about here? No? Just looking for, there we go. So let's get over here as close as we can. There we are. So I create a layer and I just go in, and if I find little white spots or things like that, I just fill it. I don't go in too much detail over that. Okay, now we can work on the names and stuff like that. Cool. Let's see, same here. It's fun when you're taken away. Okay, I started doing birthday parties. I enjoy studio stuff more. Once you do all of the live stuff, and then you know how this is. You know how this is. When you draw at an event and you charge for, I don't know if you do per hour or if you do per caricature, but you do the birthday party and you find out that there's 50 kids at the party. And so you go, okay, well, let's charge per hour and let's crank out as many black and white heads as we possibly can. And so you start driving through all these heads like crazy. Even at the end of your 2-hour session or 3-hour session, there are still kids waiting in line that have been waiting in line since the very beginning of the party to get their caricature drawn. And you feel so bad you stay late to do it. And I had that the other day. And thankfully, they compensated me for the extra time. They were very, very nice people. But yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, okay, I planned to be home in 3 hours or 4 hours, and it's going on 6 hours now. That was not the plan. You know, but nature of the beast, especially because caricature is so popular, man. Caricature is a wonderful, wonderful party favor, party thing, period. All right, let's see. Let me check out this name here to make sure I got her right. Let's see. It is Skittles. FPV Skittles. All right. And the other guy that we're going to be drawing in a bit here is Ribbit FPV. So FPV stands for first person view. And let's go ahead and just sketch a name in, and then we'll ink it and see if I like it. So this one is F. Let's go bigger. Let's go way bigger. F. Too much stabilization. F. P. Let's try this. We'll put a little S in here. FPV. And then you could put the Skittles in the name, and that's my thought too. So I'll at least do this, and then I thought maybe what we would do is maybe layer in a couple random Skittles like stacked here. The ones that will hopefully not take a long time to draw and shade to get that 3D effect. FPV. And then, let's see. I'm doing a terrible job on this, but I'm just trying to even get a fit. Yeah, it's too tight. So, let's see. Let's back up here. So, if I just do it the old-fashioned way, what would we get? If I went F, P, V, Skittles. Still too long. So, we need to... I think we need to stack it. F, P, V, Skittles. Yeah. And I purposefully want to get that hair hiding behind there since I didn't completely finish it. S-K-I-T-T-L-E-S. Yep. All right, I think that's kind of the direction I'm going to take that name. Let's move it over slightly. Just kind of balance out that. Okay, that looks cool. Good, good, good. All right, now we'll do some text design, and then we'll figure out where we want to put our little Skittles. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead really quickly also and grab all of these layers and group them in a single folder. Okay. Oh, nope, 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 not what I meant to do. Let's go ahead and just put them all in a single folder. That way I can deactivate them or put them a little darker. That way I can focus in on the name. Okay, now that we have that, we'll take this one even darker. Or lighter in the case. And let's just go ahead and do some more sketching and see if we can create something cool here. There we go. FPV. And I kind of want the Skittles to overlap, so we're going to try for that here. Let's go ahead and do this. Because FPV usually isn't as important in the name as the actual name, so having the Skittles be bigger is a bit more important. And I'll clean that up. This is just all sketch phase right now. Just figuring out my forms. So if we can get that K up a little higher over the FPV. Something else I've also been learning to do is I've been, with those fountain pens that I've been reviewing here on the channel, I actually have been trying to learn how to do, what do they call it? Not handwriting, but there's hand wording, I don't know, it's the fancy calligraphy stuff. I've been trying to do more calligraphy style words. All right, so we'll do a T here and another T on here. Kind of hide that behind the V, I guess. And then an L, an E, and an S. All right, let's see how bad that looks. That looks terrible, but it's the right idea. The right idea, wrong design. So let's just make some adjustments. All right, so center that back up again. We'll drop it again. Delete the first one since we have a good base on the second. And let's try and clean it up some more. And this is exactly it. If you were doing this at a theme park, you wouldn't be so invested in this. You'd just knock that out really quickly and you'd be done. But no, it's digital. I can do more to it. That means I'm over-investing my time into it. All right. Something at a theme park or at a birthday party would take us all of 2 minutes, max. 30 seconds, quite honestly. Suddenly turns into a 5 to 10 minute effort. Because it's a logo. It's not just a little piece of paper you're going to hang up in the bathroom. There's actually a purpose for it. This is a good lesson for me because I just use text tools for this. And that's okay, man. That's all right, especially if you have a million fonts to work through. I just know that when I'm and I've never done digital at an event. I know I can, but I've never done digital. I've always done paper. Always done traditional. And so this is how I did it at Disney for as many years as I was there. And you just get you figure out your own block letters, and it works. It works for you. And once you figure out those block letters that work for you, you just use them every time. Or you cheat, and I know, say this girl's name is Karen. In the United States, Karens have an alternative meaning these days. But what you could do is you could literally, I mean, with a marker it's easier to do, but I'd go, okay, Karen. And then if it looked absolutely terrible, I'd make up with it by filling it in with some really pretty colors. But it would be that simple to get that done. Or if the name is really long, I would just do this. And then I would usually do something like ... and then I would come up with something funny. Something like that, just to make it feel like cartoony and comic-y and such. So that's how I would work with that in a real life scenario. That was something that you learn from all the seasoned veterans over there at Disney. There we go. And I'm also not using full set stabilization on the pen, because if I overstabilize in this situation, then it's going to smooth out all of my hard turns, and that's not what I want in this situation. In this situation, I want it to give me really sharp edges every time I quickly deviate from the line I was doing. That looks cool. All right, now how's it look? Much better. Okay, now I think we're ready to take this to ink, and then we will fix it up a little bit with some color, and that will help out a lot. All right, so let's go ahead now. I will go to black. I will bring my stabilization all the way up. I will kill my previous layer. I will drop the opacity of this layer. And I want to just give myself a little bit more visual reference aside from that actual image. And here we go for the real McCoy. And also what I like to do here is I will keep my lines on the inside of the letters pretty thin in comparison to the thickness outside. So by the time I'm done, I want this to feel a bit like a sticker that you would put on something. So the outside lines will be much thicker than the inside. So here, for instance, we'll get this knocked in here. And then I will build up the outside line here. There we go. So this right here, double up on this line. go. There we go. Stabilization is a wonderful thing, man. There we go. I'm going to try and cut down on the size of this S just a little, because I feel like it is a little overwhelming on the other end of this. Not by much, though. There we go. Yeah, I can live with that. And I think we'll just fill these in. Let's see if we like this or not. Do I like it? Let's put that P there. We'll fill that in. I'm okay with it, I think. Yep, that's nice and full. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, next up, we'll just get some color in there. And let's go ahead and we're gonna just fill it with the blue for now. Though I was thinking on doing individual colors, but the funny thing is that her hair isn't Skittles colored. Skittles are red, green, and what other colors are Skittles? Red, green, yellow. And that doesn't quite fit with the style of her hair, which is blue and to a green hue. I'm almost tempted. Maybe what we'll do is we'll look here in a second at my harmony wheel and see the opposite. So if you have blue, the opposite is yellow. Green, the opposite is purple. So maybe to add some purple in there would be a good mix. Oh, excuse me. I'm talking too much. Apparently, it's stuffing up my nose. But of course, it's just easiest just to go ahead and fill this in with one color, and then just lock the layers, pixels, and then color it as I see fit. I usually like doing gradients, like intense gradients. A color I've really liked recently, I got this, I don't know if it's dry yet. I tried testing some colors last night and really, really loved how some of these colors actually played out. Specifically, there's a little triangle of color in that corner right there. You can kind of see with that red and that teal to blue and yellow and purple there. And so I'm kind of stuck on that right now where I'm like, okay, I want to use that somewhere in this piece for Skittles. So I'll probably end up doing that here in a second with these letters. And I'm okay with filling in these each with a different color, but I feel like it would be a little loud, and her hair is already super loud. So I think what I'm going to do instead is, like I said, we'll lock the layer. Let's go ahead and bring up the original image. There we go. And honestly, that text is a bit overwhelming now. So I think what I'm going to do is try and size it down here really quick. So let's go ahead and delete my sketch layer since I'm satisfied with how the text worked out. Let's go ahead and select this. The other reason why it's so explosive in comparison to her is because it's outlined much more boldly than she is. So I'll probably go in and outline her a bunch more with some heavier lines here in a little while. Okay, that looks way better. Yeah, not nearly as intense. I want the attention on her, not on the text. I like the text, but that's not the important part here. Okay, now let's go grab this layer. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's start with purple and see if we can get some purple in this just with a couple passes. And then let's sample from the hair, and let's get some of that coming back up there. I do like that middle blue fade, though, right in the middle. So let's go ahead and make this a bit smaller. And I just want to intensify this middle blue, kind of like a tri-layer gradient. That's a bit too much. That's actually way too much, truth be told. So let's go ahead and do this again. Rainbow spray paint in the text, maybe. Rainbow would work, but like I said, I think it'd be a little too loud. The goal for me would be in this case to go with a harmony. So if we just keep it really simple, get that purple in there or that pinkish purple, I think that would stand out just a little better. That's just me, though. And of course, everyone's going to have a better way of doing it than me, but that's just kind of how I think my style will work out the best in this piece. No wrong way to draw, right? No rules. So it all matches, but at the same time, it also harmonizes with the rest of the piece. And like I said, I'll need to alter the goggles. I might do that, though, once I finish the other caricatures. These are little details that might be better in the final piece. So we'll have to see. I need to mess with it, but I also need to keep my brain going. And right now, my brain's kind of like starting to bleed a little bit. I need to get away from this and move over to the next caricature and start something new, fresh. So I think that's what I might do. I feel good about this. I haven't saved this the whole time we've been doing this. So let's go ahead and save. I think we're also going to go ahead and crop it at the same time. That way I can make it smaller when I pull it into the original piece that will be with her and her husband. So we'll just crop this down to the size it needs to be. There we go. About like that. And we'll go ahead and do the crop. I'll just do it this way. Crop. There we go. All right. So let's save it. Make sure that I didn't cut her hair off at the top there, because I definitely got close. Woo! By just a few pixels. All right. That looks great, though. Stretch out my ears a minute. Great headphones, but they hurt after a little bit. Okay. All right, let's open up our hubby now and get a little bit more work done on him. So we're going to go ahead and open. Nope, not there. Let's go here, recent, and I'm looking for ribbit. Ribbit. Multicolored confection, ribbit FPV. All right, so here's the husband. Let me go grab the reference photo for him. And we're still kind of in pre-sketch phase where I'm trying to get the likeness a little tighter. So this guy, save image as. Okay, let's go ahead and go to image 3 on here. And we'll change it to the image that we're going to be drawing next, which is right here. Boosh. There we go. All right, so this gentleman is who we're drawing next, and you can kind of see what I've done to begin getting that idea of him on here. All right. This is actually a long-running client with me. I've had this guy. I've probably drawn 20, maybe even closer to 30 of his pilots. I've drawn a lot of pilots for him. He has teams that fly. He's turned it into a pretty good business. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and start actually here with merging this together as one layer. And I'm just going to start with some sketches. I feel like I need to kind of loosen my brain up a little bit. So we're going to do a couple thumbnails and just see if I can just get a bit more of a feel for them. And I'm just going to do some really over-exaggerated sketches just to really kind of try and loosen my brain up a bit, because I start to tighten up after working on pieces for a while. So we'll just start coming up with some preliminary feel and working off of that. Try to purposefully really push exaggeration and see if I can find a middle ground. And admittedly, this is where I get into what do they call it? Nurses have a name for it. I have to think about what it is. Basically, it's a syndrome where you do not feel qualified to teach this kind of stuff, because every time I get a good caricature, I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it. Because there are times when you just don't feel like you know what you're doing, especially in more challenging caricatures. And that is always, until I start to get a likeness and begin to feel like it looks like someone, I get that constant feeling of, gosh, I have no right to be teaching this. I have no right to be telling people that I'm a caricaturist. I have no idea what I'm doing, And then things just work out, and it catches you off guard when it actually does. But it was because your brain saw it, Why not? Let's go even simpler. Let's see if I can do something even simpler than that. What makes this guy? This guy has a very square face. Let's drop the opacity on that a little bit. There we go. And I feel like his eyes are actually pretty far apart. His nose is pretty big. And make sure I keep an eye on my phone. That way I don't miss any messages from my wife, too. And then I almost feel like, well, the overall, if I was just to draw his smile in a simple way, be like that, with a little bit of a bottom lip, and then he would have a double chin. I do feel like his eyebrows are very triangular in nature over the glasses. You get the same with oil painting. They all get an ugly stage you have to work through, and then it's good in a few strokes. Exactly. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. So right there, I feel, is kind of him. And then glasses. So as long as I get in that ballpark, it looks like him. And my goal is just to take those ideas and start manipulating them further, which makes me nervous. But let's go ahead and do this here real quick. We'll grab his face here. Just trying to remember the name of what that is. I lose track of my words so easy. I have no idea why I like the idea of being a teacher when I can't even remember the words I'm trying to say. All right, so if we were to take... See, that's kind of how he looks, but at the same time, it's almost not exaggerated enough. So let's do another one. And instead, this time, let's try something even more intense. So let's go ahead and start with getting those eyes kind of that way. I feel like he's got a tiny bridge because of his glasses kind of forming that bridge to a rather intense looking nose. And then part of me, I mean, you can definitely see the fold. I forget the proper term for that. And then his teeth are very, very edgy and fun, and very, very sharp across the way, so I call that bar teeth. The lip kind of sticks out. Barely, but it does. Probably not worth exaggerating. I'm going to give him some bags under the eyes, kind of take him in the direction of Asian. Just a little bit in the eyes, just to see if it even works. I do like the big triangle eyebrows. Just because of how, but we'll calm it down on the edges maybe. But they're very thick. They're very thick. So I definitely see a line here, so it makes you kind of want to cap off his nose in a cute little folded nose, kind of a button nose sort of a way. Let's double check our muzzle configuration on him. See, that doesn't feel right. Feel like you could actually take all of this and squeeze it. Where's my keep aspect ratio turned off? There we go. Okay, and then I feel like his glasses kind of sit high on his eyes. Where a lot of people, the eye sits higher in the lens, his feel like they sit lower in the lens. One of my art teachers used to tell me, draw everything but the glasses and then draw the glasses on like last. Because if you can't get the likeness before the glasses, then you're not going to get the likeness. Which is very, very true. I also am losing like 90% of his face, because here's like the other half of his face, so technically that neck would be out further back. More like that, I guess. There's that dot right there, and I think he's got another one right there. So far, I hate it. So far, the one I like the most is the simplest one of all, which, I mean, in every sense of the word, that's a good thing. That's kind of what you want. I mean, if you can get a face in the simplest form, then you can begin working off of it to get it in the most advanced form. But let's keep doing it. Let's keep going. More thumbnails. Whew. Like I said, ears getting a little sore. I get a wee little drink there, my friends. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead, change my color in my pen. I definitely feel like his eyes kind of turn up very, very little, but definitely very much a squint, which I like. Which reminds me an awful lot of a lesson that I got from one of my other books from the great Tom Richmond, and that's that everything needs to be compressed. So if we weight of his face is very centric, because his hair and his chin kind of put it both ways. I do think his chin pushes it further, which would expand his mouth out more, expand his nose wider. It would shrink down his forehead, even though his forehead has a lot of volume. That ear sticking out the back is pretty obvious too. So what if we do that? What if we do that? Let's go ahead and try this, just to really loosen myself up. He's also called Ribbit FPV, so it'd be kind of fun to take him and create him a bit more, almost using a spirit animal for him, which is a lesson from Proco.com, where they say try using like an animal or something to help design out your character, which I think is awesome. And so if we were to try and design this guy off of something like a frog, maybe we could get something rather interesting. I'm not sure. Admittedly, I've never really tried it, but I think it's a great idea for a lesson. I think that you need to see this person as an animal, a specific animal, and then draw them based on what the animal they look like. Not so much, oh, just pick any animal and go for it. No, I think there needs to be a bit more science behind it. I'm shoving the face forward like that, and really that's not what's going on with his face. So that is the problem here. So I need to build up the cheeks a bit more in the opposite direction. And then I can go ahead and start defining. And also, his top lip is very, for a guy, it's very visible. I mean, it's not like a different nationality or culture where it's a big, lip, but it is defined. I mean, that double chin, that chin dimple is very, very difficult to miss. You don't want it to look like a butt, but at the same time, a butt is a good representation of how that sort of looks. So it's him. It is him, though it's missing an awful lot of structure. But you gotta admit, that is him. It's an ugly one, but let's pop that up here in our list of sketches and keep going. For some reason, I keep coming back to that cheek line because it pops out real far, right at the tip of the mouth. You take that and you draw a line over the side tip of the mouth, and it is just sharp over there. I mean, so sharp. So what if I tried drawing him more like a frog? Could I get away with that? I don't know. But why not try? So what's a frog look like? It's got like that little head. The eyes would stick up off of that. And the nose would have to be about there. Schnoz about there. And then the mouth. And then the ear. Good work. I'll be watching from the clouds. You flying today, Supreme? Thank you very much. All right. What if I just built the eyebrows into space? I kind of like that. That's fun. That is fun. I do like that. That's a weird balance, but I kind of like it. I mean, I don't know if it even comes close to looking like him, but I'm going to be building it up here. We'll see, because that is fun. That is really fun. Let's see what I can do with it if I actually tried to flesh that out. I don't think it'll work, but if it did, I would have to definitely get approval from the client if it even came close. But let's see what happens here, because this is cool. So let's go ahead and get that eye in there with a nice little, real little tight little crush in there. I know a lot of awesome artists who would be like, dude, this would be so easy. I'm just, the sad thing is I'm too literal, and I've always been too literal. I draw what I see, and that hurts me so bad, because I'll look at other people. Like, there was a guy who sent me a message a long time ago. His name is Anthony. And this guy's like, hey, do you think I could become a good caricaturist? And I said, absolutely, of course you can. But he's like, can I make it a full-time job? I said, honestly, I did not successfully make it a full-time job very well. Well, he went and he made it a full-time job. Not only that, he draws way better than I do now. And I'm incredibly proud of him. He's incredible. And he showed me up. And that's simply because he allowed his brain to go. He allowed his brain to create something incredible. And me, nope, I'm stuck. I've locked my brain into this absolute lockdown of how to do it, and I hurt myself in that. So when you do that to yourself, that's bad, very bad. I mean, last night was kind of an eye-opening experience for me, because I decided to try and add some colors into some paintings I was working on that I would never do. And boy, it turned out awesome. I have can you see it in the picture? No, you can't. So I have Gandalf over on the wall over here, and then I have Frodo over here. I'm working on him. And I am purposefully trying to put in as many unnatural colors in those as possible. So extreme, vibrant, prime colors. I'm using a cobalt teal color, and some other ones in there to really try and push all of that. And it's turning out so cool. And it's like, man, I have wasted so much of my life not trying to push things, trying to just do things right and not trying to overly push things. Everyone who gets on here and goes, that's amazing, I'll laugh at them, because honestly, I feel like such a I feel so false right now. Because I've never tried doing this before. Imposter syndrome. That's what it's called. Imposter syndrome. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm a caricaturist imposter. I've been teaching people to draw caricatures for years, but I still feel like an imposter, like I don't know what I'm doing. It's hilarious and so sad, but so true. Like I said, a lot of nurses get it. Yeah, I hate when it takes forever, and I don't know why it didn't click. Just waiting for the camera in my head to come all the way back around to the word imposter syndrome. That took forever. Oh, I love that, and I hate it. Because I've never tried to be that advanced, and I have to put him and her on the same caricature side by side. And of course, look at her. She is, I definitely exaggerated her. Her eyes are extremely pushed. Her nose is extremely shrunk. But I can't put him right next to her and make that work. I can't, but I like it. I mean, it totally works. I hate that so much. It weirdly looks like him. That frustrates me. It frustrates me. Good heavens. But you know what? This is the kind of way that we get inspired. So I'm actually going to draw on this a little bit longer because that is hilariously fun. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw on this a bit longer. And it might be something where it's like, okay, you know what? I made an accident and I like it. And I like it so much that maybe I'll send it to him and just give it to him anyway. Hey, I made a mess and I actually liked how the mess turned out. So here's a sketch of it or something. I'm with you, dude. I'm 51 this year. My life is full of Post-it notes. Oh, dude. I keep a Post-it note pad with me and like here's my list of caricatures I got to work on today and tomorrow. I mean, notes, baby. It's all about the notes. It's all about the notes. All about the notes. I love and hate this so much. That is hilarious. And I feel like I could even push it even more if I could just like get that chin to show a little bit. There is no chin on the other side, so I kind of want to reduce that line. This is going against what I should be doing. I should be focusing on getting this caricature done. But I am going to take this just a bit further because I actually really love how much it's throwing me off. It's really, really throwing me off. And you guys are along for the journey with me, so let's mess this guy up. I mean, I can't do anything with it, but I will take a learning experience over getting something done right away any day of the week. I think that is far more important to learn from it as you're in that moment and make yourself better with it. So I'm going for it. I'm going for it, but I also don't want to lose this. We gotta keep learning. We gotta keep growing. So I'm gonna learn from this and absolutely hate myself because I probably won't even be able to do anything with it. But I'm not gonna take it all the way to completion, but I definitely want to kind of flesh it a little bit and at least get a rough idea of it. Spirit animal for the win. I mean that's definitely something I'm noticing here. The spirit animal idea of finding an animal that you recognize and trying to draw that person into that spirit animal. That's a win. Big win. That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And yet, at the same time, here's the problem. Oh, and I hate when this happens, guys. Maybe you know this feeling. You're going, oh, I love it, and then you start working on it more, and you go, I'm losing it, and at a certain point in time, you're sitting there going, it's gone. I don't see the likeness anymore, and it's because my brain over indulges in this and overly thinks about it, and next thing you know, I've lost it, which just absolutely stinks. And then you look at guys like my buddy Anthony, who's such an incredible artist and has really made something of himself, and you're sitting there and you're just like, dude, what did I just do? He's doing stuff like this all day long. This is his normal day, and me, I need lessons from him now, and he used to take my lessons here on this YouTube channel. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I might just do this kind of like a crosshatch kind of feel. Oh gosh. Do me a favor, guys. If you're enjoying this or you think this looks like him, hit that like button. I just gotta see what everyone thinks of this here, because, like I said, my brain is starting to lose it. I'm starting to be like, no, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. This is weird, man. This is weird. But I love it. Oh man, I love it. Why does that work? Why on earth does that work? I don't get it. Aaron, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Why does this seem to work right now? And the thing I noticed is that his two front teeth seem very, very exact, but at the same time kind of leaning a little. Sheesh, man. This is why I got tired of drawing caricatures for a while. Because unless you have moments like this that suddenly re-inspire you and get you like going, dude, I love everything about this. I love what I'm creating. You're so focused on just making people happy, you wear yourself out. That is exactly what I did. I just absolutely destroyed myself being overly focused on drawing exactly what I knew people wanted of me. And once people recognize your style and they expect that from you, to bring them anything else is you think that you're going to get in trouble for that, you know? But I mean, this is so funny. I mean, it doesn't even work. His eyes aren't connected to his face, and yet it's working. Grr. I really got to do more of these. I got to figure out how I did this and do more of these. Spirit animal. That's it. Spirit animal. Find your spirit animal and go for it. Sheesh. This is fun. This is fun. This is why we draw caricatures. Sheesh, man. Good heavens. Oh, man. I love that. Can't use it, but I love it. I love it. Oh, that's so sad. I wouldn't even know how to color it. Because how would you connect things? How would you connect features? Some of the caricatures of Ronald Scarf were minimal, but worked so well. I'll have to look him up. Ronald Scarf. Scarfe? Scarf? Man. And like I said, if I showed you caricatures that my buddy draws, he does beyond over exaggerations. The ugly kinds. And it works so well. All right, anyway, well, that was a great study. I like that. I'm going to get rid of these that definitely aren't him. So that one there, and I also want to get rid of this one here. Man, that looks good. That looks so funny good. I love it. Let me go ahead and shrink it down here. I think that's hilarious. And the thing is, okay, we're getting in the ballpark. It's giving me an idea of what I should work off of. Let's see. He did a lot of British politics in the 80s. Oh, okay. All right. I probably have I've probably seen some of his work. And those political caricaturists, I mean, they're so good. I'm dripping. Sorry, guys. I've probably seen some of his stuff. The political stuff is hilarious. All right. So I'm getting somewhere. I feel like I've got two really good concepts that really help me kind of peg in on some things. Definitely skewering his eyes and giving him that Asian look really helps. Getting the teeth with that tooth bend in that two front teeth there, that's definitely a win. And you got to get the double chin. Greetings from the big city of Apopka, Florida. My one, my only, my dad. What's going on, Dad? How you doing? I'm trying to make some money today. Just nearly wrapped up on this girl here, Skittles FPV. Paying some bills today. That's so much fun. I hate that I love that and that I can't use it, but it's good reference at least to get it right. Ah, I love it and I hate it. Okay, moving on. Yeah, not as much as you, but I'm trying. I think, in all honesty, with all the work I'll be doing today and tomorrow, probably, I'll be looking about $400. I think somewhere around there, which is more than I get paid on my YouTube channel in the last couple months. So yeah, definitely that. But at the same time, unfortunately, all my YouTube guys are being put on hold. I had to send them a message today and say, "Hey guys, bad news. Today's gonna have to be a focus on caricatures." So haven't been able to get out the next episode that my guys on my other YouTube channel are waiting for. But priorities, got to pay some bills. Got to pay the bills, baby. All right, let's try this again here. I'm just gonna do a box here. And since we know what we need to do just to kind of begin getting this guy closer to that goal, let's see if I can do it. Let's tone down on this. All right, drop the opacity a little bit. 200 day is good for a side hustle. It's not exactly the side hustle I want to be doing, but it is the side hustle. And right now, commissions have been coming in a few more. I think right now, paid commissions, I have 2. Free commissions, I have 2. And one of those is free because it's a discount for one of the other paid ones. So technically, it is paid, but not quite. And then the other one's family related. So, gotta go have fun. Chat with you later. Sounds good, Dad. You'd be good. So we'll go ahead and get this going on here. Let's get this nose drawn in. All right. So I'm just going to try a direct face on to see if I can put some of what we've learned into play directly face forward on a simple premise. And we'll add some extra defining points to it. If you guys want to see my real side hustle that I've been doing now for the past 2 years, do me a favor and go subscribe to my channel, Legacy Studio. I am a tech reviewer, but actually these days I'm a gamer, which is very awkward to say. But I followed peer pressure to start playing specific games in the puzzle realm. So I play weird puzzle games and things like that, and I try to solve them. And they've gotten a lot of attention. We've been playing Myst, we've been playing Riven and Exile, and right now I'm playing through Revelation, which honestly is a terrible game when it comes to user interface, but we've been working our way through that. And I have some followers who actually pay and support me to continue playing those games. We have about 26 people who are paying for me to play that game, basically. And so I am playing through that over on my other channel, and that has been my focus for the past couple years, to kind of give myself a break away from caricatures. I haven't been taking, I haven't actively tried to market my caricatures nearly as much. I've been trying to just back up and breathe a little because I just was getting overwhelmed of drawing caricatures for a long time there. So took a step back for a while, and now I'm back in this, but I'm definitely probably not going to get back to where I was. Like, I'm not in the... If you want to get popular in this kind of stuff, you need to get noticed. And thankfully, a long time ago, I got noticed in the world of drone pilots. And I'm still drawing drone pilots today. That is exactly what we're doing here. So these are drone pilots who race on teams and things like that. And so I'm trying to, like I said, you got to find those niches. And if there's no one working those niches as, do you need artwork? Well, then you be that guy. And that's what happened by accident. And so I spent about 3 years just drawing tons and tons and tons. I've probably drawn a good 200, 300, maybe 400 pilots since getting in that industry when I was flying drones myself. And then it just got so overwhelming, I stopped. I was drawing, like I said, just so many pilots, and it's like, okay, I gotta take a break. I can't keep up with this. I had a year backlog. What I would do is I would make a list of people that I had to draw, and my goal was to do one caricature a week, which doesn't sound like much, but if you're drawing like this and you're just finding yourself smacking that brick wall and not able to get a good likeness, and you get that imposter syndrome that I was talking about, then it's overwhelming and it's mentally exhausting because you're just sitting there going, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then you feel that more and more and more, and that buildup finally comes to the point where you're sitting there going, I don't know how I'm going to finish this, and I have so many of these that I'm not finishing, that people are waiting on, and I finally just stopped and gave everyone refunds, gave them a break, and I said, look, I'm taking a break. I gotta get away from this for a little bit. So in my opinion, it's too much of a good thing, you know. So you got to be careful and find a balance, or else you're just gonna end up going into a mental crash, which is exactly what happened to me. Right now, commissions come in very, very slowly. I get one every few weeks, maybe once every few months even. And thankfully, that's okay for now. I'd like a couple more at this point just to pay bills. But yeah, so far so good. Okay, so at this point, my most exaggerated one is my favorite one of him. I feel that really nails it. So I'm really starting to struggle with this one, unfortunately. I'm locking down a little bit. So I am going to minimize all these guys, and I'm going to try and do an actual one that will be the piece that I actually use. I've sketched a bit too much, or sketched just enough, so let's try and do something real. All right, here we go. So those were fun studies, but now it's time to try and do the real thing. Here we go. Once again, guys, I'm sorry I don't have any music playing for you. All my stuff is copyright right now. And I am sorry if you're just hearing a lot of breathing and weird sound effects. So turn on some music if you're sticking around and enjoy the drawing process, and we'll see what we create. We've done a couple thumbnails to kind of get us in the ballpark, and now it's time to try and actually get to the point where we're making some cash. So jealous of guys like this who have hair. I miss hair. I've tried to get my hair back. You ever heard of Keeps? I'm trying Keeps. I'm about to cancel my membership with them. I can't afford it. Okay. You can see that I actually moved my... I've done this so much that the arm that I have this mounted on is not strong. Doesn't actually have any real stiffness here anymore. I wish it did. So I find myself oftentimes changing my position when I'm drawing to help my hand kind of get the best stroke that I'm trying to go for. Okay. Let's minimize it. And we'll make our brush a little bit smaller. Opacity up. I can't commit. I shaved my hair off. Oh, can't comment. I shaved my hair off. Well, I do too. This is shaved. This is buzzed. This is completely buzzed. So this is me giving up, basically. All right, let's go ahead and start. You know, the thing that is such a problem is that, and Aaron, you know this feeling. You know that if we were doing this at a theme park or at a birthday party, this caricature would be done in 15 minutes. And it might not look perfectly like him, but it would have turned out perfectly fine. But because you get that lockdown feeling of how it needs to be done or how it needs to look or being overly picky, I absolutely hate that I do that to myself. Absolutely hate that I do that to myself. I begin to care too much. You know what I'm talking about? I hate that. When you start going, it needs to be exactly right. And then my wife comes in and looks at it and she goes, oh, it looks like him. And I'm like, well, that's the point. And then she's like, but isn't it supposed to be an exaggeration? Shut up. Go away. You just sit there. Yes, it was supposed to be an exaggeration. There we go. Cool. It's worse when people are telling you to make them look something they're not, like they hate their long nose. Exactly. Make me skinny. Do you realize that the weight in your face actually makes you you? Sorry, bad news. Your long nose is the one thing that I'm supposed to exaggerate even longer. But isn't that the point, though? When you get to that stage, you could care less. You know, if you're on location and someone's like, make my nose better or whatnot. Well, you're hoping that they've either had too much to drink and they'll enjoy whatever you drew, or you give them exactly what they want and they walk away going like, hey, I'm happy with it, sort of, kind of, well, I don't care if I'm not or not. I didn't pay anything for it, or I only paid $30. When you work at this level in the digital studio level, well, now you're paying out the nose, which is exactly why I charge so much, because I put a lot of heart into these pieces, and so to not get them exactly, it hurts you, you know? You are emotionally drained after drawing in a studio in comparison to being mentally drained on location because you're dealing with people or whatever the other reason would be. All right, it sort of looks like him, but there needs to be some adjustments. So we're going to start doctoring this. Lovely digital. Let's go ahead and move these eyes a little bit further apart. I thought I programmed in here to have a reverse. No, I didn't. Okay, well, we're going to do that really quick. So let me remember how to do this. Flip canvas. Flip horizontal. All right, so we're going to go here. Bear with me a second. We're going to go to shortcut settings. It's under edit. Flip canvas, flip canvas, flip canvas. All right, flip horizontal. Okay, we're going to program a flip horizontal in here, and it's going to be something like, I don't know, control whatever. Oh, it's already used. Yeah, it is. Of course it is. How about this one? There. All right, we'll hit OK to that. And I want to program in one of these buttons to reverse the canvas now. So I think what we'll do is... Thank you for all the likes, guys. That's awesome. I see we got a couple likes on here. Sweet. Thank you. Let's go ahead and program that into my board. So let's go ahead and open up my Wacom or Wacom. And let's go to functions. What do I have? Control, Shift. I don't use any of these. So let's go ahead and make this top button right here. We're going to go to keystroke, and we're going to go Alt Push. And flip. There we go. All right. Now, if I hit this, there we go. Now I'll be able to see from the other angle if I even got close or not. And immediately I don't like it. Which is why you don't want to do that. We'll come back to that. What I might also do is I might also do an abstraction. So as I feel like I'm getting closer, then what I might do is I might do an abstraction to start lining up things. And if you don't know what an abstraction is, that would be from Proco as well, actually from the exact same classes. From Proco, the caricature artist on there, I forget his name. He's incredible, by the way. Shoot, I don't remember his name, but he's very, very good, and I enjoyed those classes. Even the pros try to get extra classes because, like I said, if we're going through imposter syndrome and we're teaching other people, well, I mean, one of the best things you can do is continue your own education. So Proco actually has a wonderful caricature course, and I love their talk about excuse me. I love their talk about actually doing more abstractions and make sure that you're getting that likeness on par with not just that, but also just structures and getting the shaping a little closer. So I draw his glasses very square, but obviously that we're going to need to round out some things specifically in the corners. Not so much on the sides here. Those can stay pretty sharp. There we go. And of course, he's going to be wearing goggles too. So we'll have to look at his goggles because he's wearing a different brand than I'm used to. But for now, that actually looks pretty good. I do think his face is longer, so what I'll go ahead and do is merge my sketch. For some reason, having my sketch in that actually helps me out since this is just merely feeling it out here. Okay. Still love that ribbit one. Still love it so much. Still love it so much. No idea why. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, that was my original sketch of him, which actually doesn't look too bad. But all the same, I've come this far. We may as well continue. Let's go ahead and minimize these even more. Hide them away here a little bit more. I still like them. Still like the middle one, but okay. I think I made him look a little too baby-esque, so we'll make some adjustments. Let's see. Oh, I love Norman Rockwell. Love Norman Rockwell. Norman Rockwell's fantastic. I just like his color. I like his the feeling that he gives off. That emotion that you see. They're not even exaggerated as much as they are. I mean, yes, they are exaggerated, but I mean, even down to the feeling, the color, the emotion, the movement. That is where Norman Rockwell did incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Love that. All right. All right. Just looking from far away here, I need to build out the forehead a bit further. All right. Let's go ahead and start building abstraction, and I'll start working on some of this detail a bit more here in a second. So let's minimize this, or should I say drop the opacity on it, and let's begin abstraction. So abstraction is going to be starting to build the shapes that I'm seeing. And actually, I don't even need to really use a reference to do this. This is just kind of trying to figure out what where things are going to be on the face. And if I missed something in the process. Like, technically with this, I can see that other nostril and I didn't include it on the other side. Also, am I sticking the nose out too far? Do I need to pull it back? And I kind of feel like I did. So what I can do here is I can do a, let's see, transform. We'll do a free transform and just try to move that nose back a little. There we go. That's better. All right. Continuing our abstraction, excuse me. So here we can go ahead and draw the muzzle. And I do feel like the muzzle actually should come out a bit further. So coming off of here, I feel like it should actually come out a bit more like this. Just make sure it looks equal on both sides, which it does. Revert it. Yeah, that looks good. Yep. And then from there, we can go ahead and build our philtrum or whatever this is. I don't know why I said philtrum. I don't think that's what it is at all. I can go ahead and draw the mouth out here to the sides. I'm going to wait on the mouth, actually. I don't feel like I'm ready to do that yet. I got the gist of it, though. Let's go ahead and look at the outer muzzle, which is going to be the cheeks. So we can come around here and connect them into here. So, and I need to be accurate on both sides. So, even as I'm drawing this side to do the same thing, I'm seeing my eye bumping into it a bit more than the other one. Okay, and then the chin. Okay, and then that is going to draw back up here. Okay. Yeah, it looks okay. All right. So let's go ahead and bring this one a bit lower, I think. See, and I feel like that's almost too far away, but we'll see. And I'm also looking for connecting points. Like, I kind of feel like this should go up to the side of the face here, kind of like this. That doesn't look accurate at all. No. And that is why I like the abstraction, because it really helps you start to spot things that you've done wrong. Let's see. So we can kind of do this. And I really try to squint my eyes and see if I can see where it's not balanced and try to fix it. Oops. Once again, this is why people charge, why people pay so much for me to do their stuff. Because I really, really, really try to go way beyond what the obvious would be. All right, I'm gonna undo a ways here because it doesn't feel right. I feel like I lost something in the reference, so I think I lost it when I drew in the mouth. So we're gonna go ahead and back up here to before drawing in the mouth. I think I need to draw the mask of the face first before I continue on with the cheekbones, with the cheek structuring. So I think I got all this pretty much pegged, but let's go ahead instead and draw the mask, which is going to sit here. And then I feel like it actually goes up pretty high for him, but it's pretty narrow too. And it's being slightly blocked by his glasses. All right, and then okay. I only really use this technique when I'm feeling like I'm struggling. It's a dangerous technique to use because it really begins to make you overthink things, and I've already obviously way overthought things on this as it is. But at the same time, if I'm struggling with a likeness, I try to find a way to solve the problem of it, and usually you can get somewhere if you just find where your artwork failed. So, and like I said, take a look at the abstraction classes from Proco, and that will help make a bit more sense of it. All right. thing I find interesting is with what I've drawn here, I'm actually pretty wrong because the cheeks, technically the mask should designate where the cheekbone sits. So if I was to bring the cheeks down, so there's our mask. Our eyes are going to sit within the mask. But they definitely sit on the edge of the mask. And then you can take your cheekbone, your cheek structure, and you can draw in that egg form. As long as it's equal on both sides, we're getting closer. There we go. All right. And then we can begin working on the mouth. Usually lines would fall from here and here. And then the mouth would go here. If we're trying to follow Abstraction perfectly. And I think that the goal is, we get the Abstraction close, and then we start defining our shapes off of that. We'll equal up everything on both sides, and then once we find areas where the equal doesn't match in the sketch, then in the drawing, then we go from there. So I think we've designed his face with the Abstraction pretty well. Now I can fix my previous mistakes, and I think that'll get us a little closer to his likeness. So let's go ahead and drop our Abstraction down. I'll bring up my original sketch just slightly, just so I can kind of see them together. Now we're going to go in with a serious draw. Bit more opacity on the brush, and we're going in for real. All right. Little smaller on the brush there. Focusing on following my Abstraction lines much more than the original sketch. And then I am looking for variations, because this is trying to make him as, what's the word I'm looking for? As symmetrical as possible, and that's not how the human face always works. And once again, the major flaw of this, as great a technique as this is it takes my very literal brain and makes me very literally draw exactly what I see instead of what I should be exaggerating, which is a pain. And at a certain point in time here, I think I'll have to step away and take a breather, get some food. I mean, it's 11:41 right now, so it'll probably be time to take a breather. I'll probably end up coming back a little later, but I haven't seen my wife all morning, so it's the weekend. I'd like to see what she's up to and check in on her. And then I'll probably come back and do some more. If you guys are enjoying this, hit that like button for me, and I will try to remember to turn my stream back on, and we'll keep working on this together, maybe. Only if you want. Otherwise, I might just continue working on this on my own. I thought that turning on the live stream would help me kind of stay focused, and it has. But I'm also wearing out my voice already within just a couple hours of starting the stream. All right. I'm keeping my lines very easy and free right now, just as I'm working through the structure of them. I'm not desperate to get it exact because I want to see through the sketch and see areas of change. Oh, you've not been distracting at all. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Aaron. I've enjoyed the company, honestly. I'm a millennial. Millennials like attention. And heck, I talk to myself most of the time while I'm doing this anyway. Why not just go ahead and leave it on and let you guys hear what I'm saying? Too many lines is going to age him, but I'm keeping in a lot of the lines right now just to... I mean, I can calm down the age lines simply by not drawing them. So... it's okay at this point to push things a little. Thing I laugh about is look at this really perfect rendering that I've tried to do, and then look in that top left corner and not see the extreme exaggeration of that rivet face and just go, dude, that looks so good and so like him, and yet I can't use it. And yet here I am becoming overly detailed and overly focused on getting this so exactly right. I've done a very big disservice to myself, but there's still chances to exaggerate and make changes. So for right now, I just want to get as close as I can. In case I can't get any closer, then all I got to do is revert back to another image. Because there's a certain point in time, unfortunately, where I have to go from, okay, I've had fun with this, to, okay, I really need to... I've only charged enough to do this much work on this. And if you consider that I have... these are 2 commissions I've worked on so far. I have 4 commissions I need to work on this weekend. It's kind of a big deal to waste this much time on this. This is really, really not wise of me. So, and right now, like I said, he's looking super aged, which is definitely not good. Yeah, exaggeration is a very, very fine line. And I easily fall into the portrait side of things with my caricatures. And that's honestly why I think a lot of people come to me, because if you look at the work that I put into it, it becomes very, very, a very, very portrait. I would call it a portrait illustration, unfortunately, where I am so in love with that exaggeration up in that top left corner right now. It looks like him, and I have no idea why it looks like him. There is no reason, no form that it should look like him. There is no reason why this should be working, and yet it's working even better than the image that honestly is supposed to represent him in the very closest form that I can possibly get. So, I think what I'll do up next here is I'm going to merge my abstraction and my sketch together with the sketch below. And now I'm going to try some cheating, some big-time cheating. I'm first going to duplicate this. And we're going to pull it over here. And we'll hide the other one, because I just don't want to lose the other one. And now, unfortunately, we're going to do the digital thing, which is extreme cheating, but when you get to this point, sometimes you got to make some... you got a paying client. You want to make them happy. So let's see if we can have some fun with it, but we're going to do it in a very bad cheating way. So for all the traditional artists out there, you're about to throw up. But we're going to go ahead and start doing some tug and pull on this. And yeah, you really gotta appreciate the traditional artists who have done this and did not have the joys of digital. And I am kind of a purist. I don't like doing this. I feel like it cheapens the final piece, but at the same time, I've come so far with this and gotten so annoyed by this. So I'm just going to go ahead and start kind of cheating by exaggerating pieces that I'm just going to try and pull some things around. Now, this is a pretty dangerous thing to do, like I said, because to do this is actually going to alter the face off of the original structure. That's why I made a duplicate of the original, just in case. Is that before the nostril? Yes. And we want to leave that out. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Okay. Okay, I think that the age lines are throwing me off humongously here. I'm seeing all the age lines, and it's just such a pain. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce all of his age lines and see if I can give him back some youth. Look at how much youth instantly comes back to this as we just start erasing some of the sketching, the abstraction, and all that stuff. All that abstraction is adding shadow to the face. Look at how quickly we can youth this up. There are some faces that I just absolutely love drawing, and I can draw them all day long, and I can do them again and again, and just come up with something so much fun every time. And then there's other times when I've just stuck my brain into this absolute twist, and I'm not doing myself any favors. And that is exactly what I've done today. That's okay. Nature of the beast. The commission must get done, and we got to pay bills, and we got to make the client happy. And it can be done 100%. But it's going to take a little bit of tug and pull, and maybe step away from it, reset, maybe even get traditional. Maybe grab a piece of paper and a pencil, try sketching them a few times on there. And then there's a reason why we did the sketch on up above in the top right, because there's obviously something good about the exaggeration that really pulls them out, and we should be using that in our final play on what we need to do to help him look better. And I find it's at moments like this that at a certain point in time, some things will actually begin to come together. Robbie Williams was my nemesis. I could never get him right for ages. Robin Williams, I've drawn Robin Williams many times, and I have to agree with you. He is a challenge. He is absolutely a challenge. But the other problem is if you draw celebrities, we all have an idea of what that celebrity is supposed to look at like in our mind's eye. But then we also go and we see what everyone else has done to them, and then that adjusts our theory on what we're supposed to do, you know? And it's amazing what designates that caricature or not. Oh, the singer from the UK. Oh, okay. I'd have to look at that one. Robin Williams I found challenging. Robbie Williams, I haven't heard of him. All right. I think that pulling his cheek out was a win. And don't mind me for keeping it dark. I'm just looking at the back and forth here right now. Everyone says squint your eyes and see the shapes and things. Squinting has never worked for me. I try. It helps me better when I'm working on paintings. In this situation, it doesn't help me so much. Huh. I feel like his eyes are much smaller. To exaggerate this properly, just like I did in his frog ribbit design, you got to make the eyes a lot smaller over the overall with the whole face. I think that's kind of the first problem I have. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and take a break. And then what we will do is we will come back and continue this foray after a while. I will not leave the stream up. We'll go ahead and stop it here. That way people can come back and watch this in the future and not have me walking out and all that sort of stuff. But I will come back and we'll have a little bit more fun a little later on as we keep going on this. So thank you, everyone who's watching. You guys are great. I deeply appreciate it. This channel doesn't have anything on it except for classes that go back years that I made. So the fact that you're here is really, really cool, and I appreciate that. So I'll see you in a while. Give me, it's 11:53, maybe give me till, well, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock or so. You'll just keep an eye out. I'll pop back on. You're so welcome, Aaron. And it's not a lesson. I mean, this is just me trying to get work done. But this is what happens to me every time I sit down at a caricature. You can see why this is exhausting. And, you know, when you're not in the realm that you and I usually are, and maybe you have studio caricatures figured out, I apparently, after doing this for many, many years, I apparently still do not at times. And that's okay. So, time for a breather, time for some food, time to go see my wife and spend a few minutes with her. And I'll come back after a little bit. So go enjoy some other YouTube videos. Make sure you're subscribed on here and keep an eye out on your subscription feed. And I'll pop back in here a little bit later on. Not too much longer, but just long enough to get some food and see my family for a little bit. Okay? All right, thanks, y'all. I'll see you in a while.